lot of discussions on this channel because I don't usually have a lot to discuss about on this channel, but I had to talk about this because this is buffoonery in its finest. Now, for those that have been on this channel or at least watched some of my videos, you guys know that Bioshock is probably one of my favorite survival horror games that I've ever played. And y'all know how much I love this game. So this article came across my news feed. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. Bioshock quote, appearance in high school yearbook leads to a retraction. Okay, when I saw this, I had a gut feeling that I knew what that quote was. And we knew about the individual in the game that makes this quote. And this is the one thing that kind of floors me. This quote here, and I'm going to actually put it on screen for y'all to see it. This quote here got retracted. And this is the one from Andrew Ryan. And it's towards the end of the game when you're not really close to beating it, but when you finally meet Andrew Ryan. In the end, what separates man from a slave? Money? Power? No. A man chooses, a slave obeys. That was probably one of the most powerful quotes in the entire game, and it had a different meaning. It's pretty much about freedom of choice, or at least choice in itself. The entire game gives you a false illusion that you honestly had a freedom of choice when you didn't, because the character was brainwashed. The character did not have the guy that you were playing. I think his name was Jack, from what I remember. Jack absolutely had no freedom of choice because he was actually under some type of mind control to where that he honestly didn't have a choice. There was one phrase that caused him to do things he would not usually do. And for those that played the game, you know what that phrase is. Would you kindly? This is no spoiler. The game has been out for a while, guys, so it's absolutely no spoiler here. But it was talking about the illusion of choice, or the freedom of choice, or thinking you have a freedom of choice. It was a pretty deep concept. But the school itself took it as something racial, which I'm just like, how did you get racial from that phrase? Was it the word slave? What, did you automatically think that black people were like, oh, this is talking about black people being slaves, even though there is absolutely no racial quote or even a word in that statement at all? They automatically assumed that it meant racism. I'm just like, wait, what? When I saw this here, I was just like, it's not even to the point of getting mad. It's hilarious, the buffoonery of it all. These people were so scared that it was going to be a backlash to where they honestly made a statement about this. Oh, y'all gotta see this statement. I'm going to put this up here. This is what the school board of Avon Community School, and this, I forgot, I think this is in Indiana, but Avon Community School actually made this statement. Although it's not the original intent, the quote was interpreted by some as racially insensitive. Oh, good grief. As we are sorry to the students, family members, employees, or community members who are offended by the language of the yearbook. What? Y'all, what is this? What is this? This is just buffoonery in its finest. Like, y'all gotta start doing y'all research. Before you guys get all offended and butthurt over certain things, why don't y'all do your research and find out a little bit about it? Bioshock is a well-known game that has been out for a while, for several years. It's no excuse for you not to do research on what it is. It's just not. To have that retracted, even though that happens to be a very powerful quote, there was nothing racially insensitive about it. And it makes me think about the people who thought it was racially insensitive. Why? Because you saw the word slaves? That was racially insensitive to you? It makes me wonder what y'all are thinking. What's in y'all's heads? For real. Like, there was absolutely no racial connotation at all in that sentence. There was nothing relating to racism or even slavery. It wasn't even meant in that direction. That's kind of what makes me wonder about the people who automatically assume that it was racist. Were they thinking that? Did they honestly think that? Did they automatically assume it meant black people? Because let's be real. Every single time the word slaves come up or slavery, who do you think of? Black people. Let's be real here, man. And y'all know I'm black. But at the end of the day, I'm not offended by this. I think this is just flat out buffoonery. And it shows the fact that nobody does their homework or even bothers to do research about things. The fact that they are honestly... The kid didn't get in trouble, by the way. He did not get in trouble because they found out, after actually doing research, they found out that the actual quote had no racial overtones or anything in there. So he didn't get in trouble for that. But his quote is being blurred out. They actually demanded that every student that purchased a yearbook for the 2020-21 school year would have to give it back to be fixed. So they're gonna blur out this kid's statement. So his statement that he made in the yearbook is not even going to exist anymore, because even though it showed that there was no trace of racism or any type of racial overtones in that quote, that kid is still getting his quotes striked out. That's messed up. That's messed up in itself. And y'all proved it. I mean, y'all proved to be wrong. They proved themselves wrong, that this was not racist. And this kid is still having it striked out. Completely blurred. That's messed up. That's really messed up. At the end of the day, y'all, you guys need to start doing your homework. Not you guys. I mean, not y'all listening. But people, before you get offended, start doing research. Start learning about what it is that makes you mad. Because it might not be anything at all. And that's what this quote was. Absolutely nothing at all. Just a powerful quote from a video game. Start doing your research before you get angry.